Hey guys, this is Shredkid here. I'm doing my first ever Dota2 commentary. It's going to be mostly on Invoker, actually entirely on Invoker. And I got a friend commentating with me, so why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, this is Decency. A lot of you have probably seen me around Dota2 subreddit. Or the Heroes Newer subreddit before that. So I'm really looking forward to this with Shredkid because I do not know Invoker very well, so I'm going to kind of serve as the bouncing wall to throw me some ideas out there.
Okay, so I guess I'll just do an intro to how the hero himself works. One, he's considered very powerful, and two, he's incredibly complicated in that there are a lot of different things you can do with him. So, the way he works is this. You have three spells, or three orbs, Quas, Wex, and Exhort, each of which gives you a stat bonus when you upgrade it, and it's also going to serve to invoke an orb, which you have on yourself, and you can have any combination of these three orbs. And in the game Magica, it's very similar to this. You can invoke a spell based on what orbs you have, and then you get that spell. So for example, if you have three orbs of Quas, as Invoker does right now, you get the spell Cold Snap. And another thing that's important about this is that each spell, or each orb, when equipped, has a particular attribute which it gives you. So in this case, Quas is going to give regen, and it'll upgrade your strength. Wex is going to give agility, and it upgrades... It upgrades your agility and it gives attack speed and move speed. And Exhort gives you intelligence, and it's also going to upgrade your attack damage. So, I'm playing as Smurf number 2 this game. I picked this game especially because, one, it was against a Doom and a Night Stalker, which are two common targets which people like to use to shut down Invoker. And the other part, or reason I picked it, is because I don't think I played particularly well this game. So I think I can criticize what I do a lot of the time, and that will be a good learning experience.
Alright, so this
simply because
this is just a public game matchmaking?
Yep, this is an AP game. I'm friends with the Tide Hunter. I think he goes by Melon Monkey. The Windrunner, whose name is Tierra, and you guys might have seen him around, and the Axe, whose name is Roar Platypus. I don't know the Ricky, but I hit this guy like 3 times on ladder in a row, and he was pretty good, so...
Alright.
The battle begins.
Anyway, we're laning Invoker mid this game. He's solo laned every time you play him. He just has to solo lane. He might have a support popping in and out or like pulling for him or something, but he's the most EXP dependent hero in the game, and he's also an incredibly powerful mid hero. We notice that we get Q first. There are two schools of thought on what you level first. So you can level the Q or the E. Q gives you regen. Look at that. It's 4 regen a second on him, which we'll get to why that's important later. Whereas Exhort is going to give you plus 9 damage at level 1. So what I like to do with the Q, and how I approach a lot of lanes as an Invoker, is just trade harass with people non-stop, and that'll let you establish lane control later on when they've burned through their regeneratives and you haven't. So you can just tank creeps non-stop and attack him. And that's kind of looks like what I'm doing in this game. I'm trying to focus mostly on harass early, because it's a good way that you can beat Night Stalker. You just force him out of lane. Right,
that makes sense, because you have a lot of free regeneration, basically, with your Q. Until you level up different orbs, it seems like.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about my starting items, I think.
Sure.
There are really 2 general starting builds that you're going to want to go. One is what I have, and it's what the recommended items are, and I think that's really good for a generic laning situation. That's going to become a Bracer later, which is also going to become a Django, or Drums. I'm probably just going to call it Django by accident all game.
Fair enough.
The regen is for even more harass, but it doesn't look like I'm going to need it that much against the Balinar. So,
right.
Again, if we look at him, he's already burned through 2 tangos and is at half health. I'm going to start regenerating faster. Oh, I Cold Snap to trade harass.
Okay.
Because again, he did more damage than me that fight, but I don't really care about that because I'm going to heal up, so...
Okay, so do you want to explain Cold Snap a bit?
Okay, so Cold Snap is typically the first spell that you're going to want to invoke. You get Invoke, which lets you get your actual spells at levels 2, 7, 12, and 17. And each time it gets progressively better in terms of cooldown and mana cost. So... Or, not mana cost, sorry. It gets worse. But, what Cold Snap does is it stuns him when the instant you cast it on him. And then every time he takes a certain amount of damage, he's going to get stunned again for a short duration. The higher your ranking Q is, the better the stuns are.
Damage.
It's incredibly powerful in laning.
Okay. So basically you can get, it looks like 3 or 4, maybe even more stuns off, just as long as you keep doing damage?
Yeah, typically with the rank 2Q, you cast it, you get a hit, you move up, get another hit, and then you get a third hit as he runs away.
Okay.
So it's 3 hits and the 2 stun durations, or 3 stun durations, and it's pretty good. Okay, I make a mistake here, so let's watch this.
Fear quiets magic.
Okay, so what happened that fight was I opened with Cold Snap. He had a double damage.
Okay.
And I know that my Tornado, which is another move, you have QWW gives you a Tornado. We'll see that a lot this game. Dispels runes, so I know that I can get rid of that rune on him.
Okay,
so what I'm thinking is, Sorry?
Tornado is a purge then?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not exactly. It's weird. I honestly don't know exactly how the mechanics work, but it does dispel runes, which is the main thing you use it for.
Fair enough.
And the mechanics have changed since Dota 1 to Dota 2 slightly. So, anyway, let's explain what happened in that fight, because I haven't gotten to that.
Sure.
I know he's going to go on me, so I cold snap him. He's going to start smacking me, and what I want to do is immediately tornado him to get rid of the rune and then kill him. Unfortunately, I get worried when he silences me at a really good timing, and I start thinking maybe I can't win this fight. And if I was playing more aggressively, I would have gone for it, but if I die in this lane, the whole game is thrown off, because the point of this lane is that I'm supposed to be dominating it, and if he gets a kill, everything's messed up, whereas if I get a kill, it's kind of just going how it should be, so that's why I played it safe there.
Right, I also noticed you were tanking the creeps during that fight. You were a bit ahead in your creeps, so you were kind of at a disadvantage to begin with.
Dire's middle tower is
Also,
under
this
attack.
I know this player Butters. I hit him on the ladder all the time. I guess we just play at the same time, and I know that he's pretty good, so
Okay.
I was kind of worried about that. Maybe he'd pull something out. So, you'll notice that I'm not controlling runes this game.
Right.
Or at least yet. It's because it's daytime, and I'm not really worried about NS getting a rune while it's daytime. Invoker doesn't really utilize runes that well at all. I mean, illusions are nice, and the double damage is nice, but the way I'm playing Invoker this game is going to be a more farm-prioritized Invoker, so if I leave lane and miss a couple creeps, I really don't want to do that. And I will try to deny him runes, but right now I don't really need them.
It's all the same to me.
So how would you recommend ever picking for bottle on Invoker then? No.
I would never get a bottle on Invoker unless I was going a WE build, which is completely different than what I'm doing this game.
Okay.
And in that case, I might not even get it all the time.
Okay.
With Q, you really don't need any health regen, so I feel like it's a waste.
Right, excellent, because you're already sitting at 7.5 regen per second, which is more than a ring of health would be. So.
Yeah. I want to say how I'm skilling. So, QW Invoker, Quaswex, is going to give you the most CC of any of the builds, and it's typically what's done in almost every high-level game. Simply because, we'll see later, is the amount of CC coming out from Invoker is ridiculous, and W lets you move around really, really fast, so...
Okay, so you
I want to keep going.
I was going to say you're going to exhort, for how long?
For now.
Okay.
I'm about to make another mistake here, so let's look at this. I see a DD rune, and I don't want to let him get that, so I go for it. He gets it. I Tornado to try to get him off me, but I'm going to die to a Prophet Gang.
Okay. You're a few seconds ahead of me.
Double damage.
Okay, I'll pause for 3 seconds.
Alright, so yeah, that was a good map awareness by Prophet.
Take you all.
It was a pretty good play. I didn't want to let him get that, because if he gets that, our Windrunner dies.
Okay.
Like, Windrunner just can't live. So, what I should have done was Tornado before then. I thought I could beat him to the rune, and I didn't. But, yeah, that was me playing a little bit too aggressively to try to protect someone. And he gets a kill for it.
Sure.
Also, you'll notice I invoke Ghost Walk, which is a spell which gives invisibility, but I didn't have the mana cost to use it, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a very steep mana cost for 200 just for a
It's a really good invis.
Yes,
it's a really good invis. Late game, you can use it to slow an entire team down. But, anyway, we'll notice that I'm skilling. I have 3 in Wex and 2 in Quas right now. If you can get away with it in lane, I always try to get 2 in Quas and then get like 4 to Wex because it gives a really, really good Tornado. It makes the Tornado range longer, which is what you really want for early ganking and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'll mess over
And,
that as soon as it comes up.
Yeah. I'm trying to use Invoke right now to get Ghost Walk off cooldown, because you don't... Oh, let me talk about how Invoke works before I talk about that. So you have 2... Once you hit level 7, you have 2 spells at all times. When you invoke, a spell, that goes to the first slot, and then the one in the first slot moves to the second. So, you're always going to want to have a spell like Tornado up because it's so useful early, and it's like good for stopping people if they're running at you, or it's just really, really generically good. And Ghostwalk you don't want up because it's taking up a slot, and Invoke has a cooldown, so you don't want it being one of your spells. I'm making a mistake in not getting that off right now. I think I'm focusing on CSing or whatever, but that's another mistake coming out for me.
Okay. So right now your team's getting kind of crushed overall. We focused on Invoker, but the game's 5-0 in the Dire team's favor.
Yeah, if we start looking around the map, we're going to notice that it's the first nighttime, and NS and Prophet together are crazy.
Yes.
They can just kill anything on the map at any time. Yeah, there's a call coming out from our Tidehunter. Please stop molesting me. I think he's been having a hard time at bot. But
yeah, and Night Stalker's
anyway,
already picked up his iron as well. So
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're seeing some action going on right now. I'm trying to go in PS. Axe misses the Tonto, so it's just a little bit unfortunate. Cold Snap Tornado is a really good early ganking utility. It's what most QW invokers like to use that to gank, and then they use the WWW, or the EMP for team fighting, which burns everyone's mana so much and deals damage.
Right, it seems like it would be especially strong against strength heroes who don't have much of a mana pool to begin with.
Especially. One of the things that a Invoker's really good against is Anti-Mage. One, because of all his disables and stuff, but you can burn all of his mana. You Tornado him and you drop the EMP right before you Tornado, and he'll lose all his mana. Now he can't run away. All of a sudden, he's immortal, so something a lot of people will be interested in.
And that's just a sort of timing thing, you would say? To hit the EMP, or does the EMP go through Tornado?
Yeah, typically what you want to do, I think at the time, EMP goes through Tornado. So you want to drop the EMP first so that they can't run away from it, and then Tornado after.
Okay.
And it'll burn everyone's mana.
Excellent.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And again, you'll notice I'm not ganking. I have not left mid lane so far this game.
Right.
I think, yeah, at this point I was considering leaving, but I didn't have a TP on me, so another mistake coming out from me. I don't want to gank as Invoker this game, and I'll explain why. I'm going towards my goal of getting level 17 and Aghanims up as fast as I possibly can. And yeah, and at this point I really should be going to leave, but
yeah, they're
once you have 17 and Aghanims up, it's really hard to lose a game. The trick is getting there. So, we see me go into a fight, and as I'm running to it, I'm on all W, right? So I'll get there faster?
Yes.
Looks like I might get there in time, I don't know. I don't really remember, hang on. Yep, yeah, I'm gonna get there in time. I'll open with Cold Snap, Tornado. And, oh! That's a really nice earn from him. So like I said, he's a pretty good player.
Yeah, that was well timed, and he got out. So yeah, just you should add the courier, bring your TP a bit earlier. Understandable.
Yeah, I have two. I think I bought two now to make up for it. So I'm on a lot of W for the Tornado EMP, and I'm going towards a Django. The Phase Boots Django is with your W up, you move around the map so fast, and you have such high attack damage. It's so good. The Phase Boots are great for the moving around and positioning spells, but the last hit damage is also so good in lane. And the Django gives you stats that you really need, and also the movement speed, attack speed is really, really good on him. I would say that these two items are cool for in almost every situation. Like, no matter what build you're going, it's really good to get both of them.
Alright, I want to talk about your level priorities right now. So you have 4 in Wex and 2 in Quas. Now, you got the Quas early, and you just kind of settled on that there, and because the Wex is more important, you feel?
I feel like Wex is definitely more important in this game. There's a Doombringer and an NS, who I can get rid of their mana with EMP. I can also get rid of the Weaver, who's impossible to kill. I can get rid of his mana. Oh, looks like a kill attempt, but no shackle. There wasn't a shackle, so... Again, 3 heroes who, without mana, are fairly useless, so...
Right, okay. So you want to make the EMP basically your primary goal here.
Yeah. I feel like if they try to push our towers with Prophet, one thing that he's really good at is stopping mid-game pushes. You drop an EMP and just Tornado, and it's, oh wait, we're not pushing anymore because we can't. So, something that he's really strong with.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So with this role, you'd say he's very good counter pusher, then? With this build, rather.
It's hard to say because
Radiant's top
one of the ways that
tower
you
is
beat
under
Invoker
attack.
is by pushing extremely early before he has those things up.
Radiant's
With like a
top
Chen,
tower has
Pugna,
fallen.
Lycan type combo. Lycan's a hero that's an extremely strong pusher. He's not ported yet, but mid-game pushes aren't as effective against him because you get the EMP up. So you want to push early.
Okay.
Nice shackle dodge from Butters again. Great play.
Yeah, and you're hammering away at this mid tower. It's already down to about a third, so
Radiant's top tower
sure you'll
is
take
under
that in
attack.
chunk.
Okay, something that I think is important to note is that I'm not farming well this game. My last hits are not very good. My item timings are going to be much slower than they normally should be. A good item timing for, I think, Phase Django is like 9 to 10 minutes, and I'm at 13 minutes and haven't finished it yet, so... I have it in the bank, but I should have it on me, so...
Okay.
One of the things that you want to do when you're not farming that well is Invoker, and typically that's going to be because an enemy is pressuring you, not because you're missing last hits blatantly, is you can start to go gank and start going in team fights, because if you're going to be a little weaker in the late game because either they're pressuring you or you're making a mistake, you might as well try to make them get to the late game slower.
Understandable, that makes sense. So, now when laning Invoker, you said he demands a solo, which makes sense because he's very level dependent. Now, typical you see a dual lane and high level play a lot. Would you say he's strong against a dual lane and a solo mid role?
I would say no. Invoker's biggest thing is that he can trade harass versus one person, but against two people he can't trade as much harass. So if you want to put like a Lich anti-mage up against him or something, that would be pretty strong against him.
Dire's top
Typically,
tower is
though,
under attack.
when you're drafting and you know that they're going to try to duel against you, you just move the Invoker to a different lane so that they can't do that. Like what a lot of Chinese play. Or say, he gets through some games in VP now because there are some heroes which are really out of control in Dota 1 right now, like Lycan and Syllabear and Batrider. But what you'll see is maybe him soloing the hard lane because that team knows that there's going to be a solo up there. So basically, Invoker will be against one person. Like your team just makes it happen.
Okay, that makes sense. And as you said, he's not very rune dependent, so he doesn't need the solo mid.
No, he doesn't need a solo mid. It's really good to do it in pubs, just because
Mid is
most
the
pubs
default
aren't going to
solo.
say solo safe lane, but
Okay, so you pick up a drum here now,
Dire's middle
finally.
tower is under attack.
yeah, it took me long enough. Typically, I like to get my force staff by 14 to 15
Dire's
minutes if
middle
I'm going
tower
that
has
build.
fallen.
And I'll talk about item timings later once we get more items in play, but I'm about 3 minutes behind where I should be.
Okay.
Or not 3, like 2 minutes behind where I should be right now.
Well, you just picked up a tower, so that'll help out.
Definitely.
Okay, so it looks like we
Anyway.
see some action happening bottom, or posturing at least.
Yeah, oh, looks like I'm actually going to try to go on Night Stalker, but no one's close enough, so I kind of wasted a lot of mana there. Which is going to bring us to an important thing. This build gives you no mana regen. At all.
Correct.
Anyway, sometimes what I used to do
Radiant's
is
top
get a
tower
Yules
is
instead of
under
Force
attack.
Staff if I know I'm going to be running around a lot and don't want to use. I want to have full mana because it gives such good regen in the stats. It's really good. But this game I have to go Force Staff, and we'll see why later. But not getting Force Staff isn't an option. So I think I should Fairy Clarities out this game, but I don't want to do that because I'm already behind on farm. So I'm just going to try to farm without having any mana, which isn't really optimal at all. It's me trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Okay.
Fairy and Clarities out is a thing that I do a lot personally. I don't know how much other people do it that much, but when you're going this build, I might die here. Hang on. No, I'll be okay.
Yeah, we were choosing not to dive. Yeah, so now you're back to the well, so seems like you can make your mana last quite some time, because you're not really too active in ganking.
No, that's why Yules is really, really good for ganking, like I said, but Force Staff, if you're doing a ganking build and you get the Force Staff up fast, what that allows you to do, which we won't see this game, but what it allows you to do is Tornado, Force Staff yourself up to someone, then either Ice Wall, which I haven't got yet, I'll explain why, or basically it lets you get next to them, and then you can just unload all your
Dire's
stuff
bottom
on them.
tower is under attack.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about my skill build. I don't have E yet, so that means a huge arsenal of my spells I don't have. And a lot of times you would think, well, why? You want to get all your spells so that you can use whatever you want, whenever you want. Well, here's the reason why I don't have E. Sunstrike's really weak early game, or with 1 rank in E. Deafening Blast is okay. Meteor's really not good. The only thing you really want it for is the Ice Wall, because all the other E spells are really dependent on a high rank of E, except for maybe Deafening Blast. But I don't have the cooldown on Invoke yet to use the spells. My cooldown on Invoke should be 17 seconds right now. Yeah, it's 17. And you can't cycle through spells that fast. You just can't do it. So you have like a Tornado, EMP, Cold Snap, and then maybe that's most of a fight right there. Like you have to wait 17 seconds before you get another spell after those 3, and it's a lot.
Right, and then the only spell left.
I'm prioritizing the spells I have.
Okay, so
yeah, and the only spell left that
you wanted
goes
that.
to off.
right.
Or well, you can Tornado again typically by that, but
Okay, so yeah, in that fight we just saw you actually burn all of Furion's mana, and he just had to bail. Alright, so you're going on Night Stalker here. The Tornado hits, the EMP hits, and Night Stalker down to 100 mana. And he'll fall. That was a pretty well coordinated guy.
Shafted. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And we'll skip right through that pause. Glad it does that.
Looks like Weaver. I think that we should kill Weaver right here.
Radiant's
Hang on.
tower is
I think
under
Ricky
attack.
does something good, or Windrunner does. But
Radiant's middle
anyway,
tower
yeah,
is
he's just gonna
fallen.
get trapped and die.
Radiant's bottom tower
Oh,
is
I
under
Tornado
attack.
him in Invis. Tornado doesn't take people out of Invis, by the way. It doesn't do that.
Okay.
If you can
But-
see me, you're already dead.
It looks like they're gonna take our first tower, and
Radiant's bottom tower
this
is
is
under
the point at which I'm gonna be starting to be concerned about
Radiant's
team
bottom
fights and
tower
more
has
importantly
fallen.
Doombringer. Because if I get doomed in a team fight, we lose the team fight.
Okay.
So this is one of the reasons why. Oh, I'll talk about that later. But the reason why I like to get 4-staff against the Balinar is because you have to get in the middle of the fight to use a lot of your spells, like Tornado, or not Tornado, like Ice Wall. So you get in, but then he silences and slows you, and you 4-staff your way back out, and then he can't hit you.
Okay, I was actually
It's not
assuming
quite as
you
good
were-
against Doombringer, but
I was actually assuming you were getting the 4-staff for Furion, or Nature's Prophet, that is. It's also
it's good against him too. It's good against VS because VS is a positional hero, so you can save yourself if you get swapped. A little bit of BM coming out from more Platypus right there, but okay. The reason I got Point Booster before I 4-staff this game, which is something I rarely do, is because Doom. I'm really, really worried about getting doomed, and I think maybe if I get the Point Booster up first, I can survive a Doom and then try to turn the fight around and let everybody get away with Tornado and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, the stats on Point Booster are exceptionally good. Okay, so looks like a fight's happening mid here. We're gonna hit the EMP. EMP
And
actually
that's-
doesn't land.
That's a mistake that I made. I think at the time this game was played, the EMP range was still half of what it should have been. But typically you really should drop the EMP first because that can happen.
Okay.
Anyway, so on the leveling thing, which I think is really important, I get the E before level 12, and level 12 is when you get your next rank of Invoke. So I want the E before then because now I can start throwing down ice walls more often.
Right.
Which I think is pretty important, and I can start using Alacrity if I need to, which makes you attack really fast and with more damage, or anybody really. You can cast it on anything, even catapults. So I want to get that stuff up.
Right, and the ice wall is only the damage actually gets boosted from having levels in Exort, so you don't really care too
Yeah,
much about that.
Radiant's
you
top
don't.
tower
It doesn't
is
matter.
under
You just
attack.
want the ranks in the queue for that, which is why I level Q up to 4. A lot of people leave it at 2 or 3, but I like it at 4 because of Ice Wall and Cold Snap mostly.
Okay.
Anyway, I think right now I'm telling my team that I don't want to fight because it's nighttime and I think Doom's around somewhere. So I'm saying let's just farm. I'm trying to get to my goal of 17 eggs this game. It's an overriding theme throughout all my Invoker games. Oh, looks like Ricky's getting jumped on. Fear quiets magic, pentagram. He's gonna go down. I tried to save him with the tornado, but it's not enough.
And it looks like Axe wants to fight 4v5.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was yelling at him in vent during this. I was saying, "Don't fight! Don't fight!" They fought. I think this one really badly. Yeah, he's gonna go down. This is a 3-for-1. And again, gone.
Looks like they almost picked off Night Stalker, but as you were saying, it's nighttime and chasing him down is a bit difficult.
Yeah. I had no mana for that fight again, which is a problem with this build. I have no mana regen, and I haven't been using my spells all that efficiently this game. I've been missing with some. So, some pretty suboptimal play. Windrunner's gonna go down, not a whole lot I can do about that, so... I'm just trying to defend this tower with Tornado EMP right now.
Right. And the cooldown on EMP isn't actually too bad, it's only 25 seconds, so...
No, not at all.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It looks like Nature's Prophet's gonna go down here for sure. Yes.
Yep.
So let's take a look at the scores here. You're sitting on 1-1 with 4 assists. Certainly not bad, but definitely not an active solo mode.
No, not at all. This is completely passive.
And
I'm just worried about counter ganks from the Prophet, the NS, and the Doombringer. So, like I said, I don't want to play aggressive this game. And if we get to the late game, Invoker outcarries their entire team.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like he would, but Balinar is useless. You can manhandle Doom, or you should. And we'll get to why that works that way later. Weaver isn't a great late carry, and I see that Furion is going right-click build, and I'm fine with that because I have Deafening Blast, so I can stop him from attacking, and then all sorts of crazy stuff, so...
Right. Okay. And so, now you're talking about rushing the Aghanim's quite a bit. Do you want to explain what that does for Invoker?
Oh, absolutely. Aghanim's, for one, it gives you awesome stats. It reduces, or removes the mana cost on... Oh, nice Shackle from Windrunner. It removes the mana cost for Invoke, which is nice, but it brings it down from a 5-second, your ult from a 5-second cooldown into a 2-second cooldown.
Okay. Which
Which is huge. I can't even begin to say how big that is. You can start throwing down all your spells non-stop in fights. And all of a sudden, you can control, like, you can 2v5 entire teams. Like, if there's someone there who's just dealing damage and you're hitting all your spells, you can just control an entire team with your spells. It's absurd.
Right.
He's completely out of control once he gets to that point in the game.
Right. It seems like at this point you're kind of spell limited, but at that point you're more cooldown limited than anything else.
Yeah, like, you'll cycle through all your spells and go, oh wait, I haven't got this up again, so... At which point you just right-click people, because you right-click pretty fiercely with your Django, if you're on all W and maybe Alacrity, you right-click really hard, and it's the reason why a lot of people like playing him as a right-click carry with the WE build.
Okay. And would you say... Now, I look at Alacrity, and the first thing I think is, put that in an anti-mage or something, and that would be insane.
Oh, absolutely. It's really, really good. A lot of times if you have a really early carry who needs attack speed, you can actually get the early rank in 8, like, or much earlier than I did, just so that you can have that. And it's awesome. I don't know the stats, but I think it's like plus 100 to 150 damage, and like close to like 1.5 times attack speed when you're really high ranked on it.
Yep, you can actually, if you select the Invoker, you can click that question mark above the ultimate and actually take a look at his spells.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that was there. Cool.
Yep. So yeah, you can see it's, even at a low level, it can be a low level exhort, that is, it can be up to 80% attack speed.
Yeah, that's a lot of attack speed, to say the least. So, again, this is a kind of boring game right now. So, if you guys want to skip to where it gets interesting, I'm level 15, so it's gonna happen pretty soon. I mean, my standard timing for my 4-staff point ags is going to be like 29 minutes, because I try to make it coincide with my level 17, which always happens around then. So I'm a little behind this game, but I'm trying to make it happen.
Okay. And it looks like Weaver wants to 1v1 you. Axe has finally picked up his Blink Dagger, so everybody misses the taunt.
Yeah. Oh, let me talk about other items you can get on him. We see I want to 4-staff this game because the way I approach this hero is whatever items I get, I try to make coincide with getting an ag stick after that, and then the 17, right? So, in this game I know I wasn't farming well, I was CSing poorly, so I got the 4-staff because it's cheap. I could have gotten the Yule Bolts, which is more expensive, if I was farming better, and if I was farming really well, I would have gone for a Silent Stick. Okay. I've had games where it's just, you know, every CS, and it turns out with, I'll get a Gwynsu first even. But I'm going to try to defend this tower, TP in. Looks like we should win this fight by a lot.
It's gonna... Whoop, good swap by CS. And your Tornado, deadly. And
so we're going to get 2, and yeah, we're going to get VS also. And, something that's important to note, I'm not trying to let Ricky take these kills. I'm making a mistake in missing them. Right now my farm is more important than his. He's got his diffusal up and is going for BKB, but it's more important that I get my stuff up, so the fact that I'm missing kills isn't a decision, it's a mistake.
Radiant's top tower has been denied.
And, of course, it's a public game, so you can't always coordinate that the way you like to.
Nope.
Generation.
Well, notice that I haven't really been doing this game at all. I haven't had any problems with their silences on their team. So, what this means is that I'm feeling very safe in my build right now. I feel like I can, maybe... Well, what I'm going to want to do against the Doombringer is Dagger, and I'm thinking that maybe I can skip that and go straight for Hex right now. That's mostly what I'm thinking of right now, but we're going to see that he's going to start focusing me once I get that 17 Ags, and then I have to adjust my build.
Okay, so you're thinking really late game at this point.
I mean, it's been established that we're making it to the 17 Ags, which means we should win. We shouldn't lose at this point, but my focus is going to be what happens if I get doomed and their Prophet is really right clicky. What do I do from there?
Okay.
Because right now I'm not really that concerned with the present game because it's so turtly. I'm looking 10 minutes ahead.
Okay, fair enough. And it looks like Weaver's going a Crystalist build. Crit build.
Yeah, so we have a lot of right click coming out from them.
Absolutely.
Which means, I don't know if I've said this, Deafening Blast. That's going to be a real important one this game. It stops people from seconds and it stuns for like 1.7, or it's a knockback, but it deals a lot of damage too. It's very good.
Looks like it disarms for up to 4 seconds at max level, which that's quite lengthy. And that team fight could be over by then.
So, you'll notice that let me talk about my skill build. I am in 4-5-4 right now. I got the Wex up to 5 because I like it at 5. I don't really like it under 5 at any point. I just feel like the move speed and EMP is worth it. But I've started to level Exhort almost exclusively, and this is because I need to get my damage spells up. Like, my not Sunstrike really, but my Meteor is really important. VS is going to suicide right here. Okay. Well, let me talk about this fight, because I'm making another mistake right now. I want to go in. I think I should have gone in, but I was really, really worried about the NS Nighttime and Silence, because I remembered it hadn't been night for a while. So and I always thought that Furion might TP, and all of a sudden I get silenced and killed, so that's why I didn't go in. Turns out it would have worked out. Whatever.
Right. Okay. So, see the 4-step.
4-step up, but I'm making another mistake. I'm not on all Wex right now. I should be on all Wex to run faster, and I wasn't. Right now I should invoke Sunstrike, or that's on cooldown. But I should invoke Sun when I can, so that I can Sunstrike him for the kill. And I don't, I just completely skip it, which is another mistake from me. Like I said, I picked out a bad game, so that I could point out my mistakes as opposed to a good game, which I point out what I do well, and then I feel like a pretentious jerks. So.
Yeah. So it's always easier to call it mistakes than it is to praise. So, hopefully this is helpful.
Yeah. Being on Wex all the time is really good when you're in full regen. I haven't really stated that, but Wex is really good. And right now I'm on the Tornado setup. I should just be on all Wex. But that's a time to
Dire's middle tower is
something about Invoker is that there are so many little things which you can be doing at all points that it's really, really hard to optimize. Like, even if you watch someone like Ferrari 420, who's probably the best Invoker player in the world, you watch him play, you'll see him make mistakes like that occasionally. It's just, he's so hard to optimize.
Definitely. And that high skill ceiling is what makes him terrible at sometimes by some players and amazing at others. That's great to see, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's good the game design to have heroes like that, but it's just, my own 2 cents. Anyway, I should have Ags up. I am 17 now, but I don't want to fight. I tell my team, just stay on our side of the map, guys, we're going to turtle. So I'm going to get Ags up, and it's about to get exciting. I'm about 3 to 4 minutes late on where I should be, but that's okay. Anyway, we got team fight going on top. It looks like we'll be all okay. Yeah, Ricky's just gonna waltz out of there and Wondering is fine.
Yeah, he picked off 2 kills, so... And it looks like you should have your Agonums finished. Yep. On the core.
And I think we're gonna see a drastic... I hope we will, because I don't want to show you a game where I get 17 acts and don't fight. But we should see a drastic change at this point, and I should start fighting non-stop.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm running over there right now. I want to fight. The Tornado EMP is on cooldown. This is, again, Doombringer. Fury's gonna go down. Well played.
I do my work at the cutting edge.
Yeah, and Ricky Morrow with BKB up.
Yeah, that's excellent. That means Night Stalker is not an issue anymore.
So, we're going to take a look at the gold draft.
Oh, yeah, there it is. I'm going to explain why the gold graph's wrong. Or misleading. It's because factually it's right. It's misleading because all this game, I was letting ourselves get... Oh, I'm going to force stuff up looking for people.
Double damage!
I run around behind. Oh, there's the Weaver, but we can't get him. Anyway, this whole game strategy was give the farm to Invoker so that once he has it, you just win. So I was sacrificing team fights in order to win team fights later, which is why even if our gold graph is losing, we were winning the game at the time, because now we're an advantage to do very well.
Okay. Good deserve his call there.
Batty and he goes down. I should Ice Wall here, hopefully. Ice Wall is okay.
Yep.
Cold Snap. Hopefully a Deafening Blast, a Meteor or something. Okay, there's a Meteor, but it was a little bit late, and a Deafening Blast was worth great. So it was kind of a poor team fight for me.
But at the same time, you have to acknowledge that through that fight, you cast 6 or 7 spells, it seemed like, out of a possible 10, so...
Definitely. Oh, I tried to Sunstrike him. I missed by just a little bit.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
But, anyway, something that you should always do once you have the 17X up is have your Forge Spirits out at all times. So you take them out, and then you get that spell off your list as soon as you possibly can. And it's really easy to do, and what they do is they actually shred your armor. So every time that they hit something, they take its armor down by 1, up to -10. And, that's really, really good against people like a Doombringer, who naturally, his base armor is like, what,
0?
2?
No, it's literally 0.
Or it's 0. Right now it's 2, but it's 0 at the beginning of the game. He's gotten a lot of armor since, but it's really good against people like that.
Okay.
Anyway.
Now, would you use them to jungle, or just at when you anticipate a team fight coming up?
I always have them out at all times.
Okay.
If I don't have them out, it's not a decision to not have them out, it's me being absent-minded.
Platypus now very happy.
I told him that he had to buy a gem, and he's like, I don't want a gem. I can just find where he is and call. And I was like, dude, get a gem. So he was upset about that.
Okay, and it looks like Night Stalker is also...
I check Roche with Sunstrike, which is a fairly good utility of that. And save Windrunner, even though she didn't really need saving. Let's see what spells I have up. I have Tornado up, and I should have another... I should have Ice Wall. Like, at this point in the game, I really like to have Ice Wall, Tornado up. So you Tornado, throw yourself in, angle Ice Wall right, and then on. They're all slowed, at which point you go to work. Here we go. This is where the fight starts.
Alright, so let's take a look at your spells here. Spears out first.
I'm going in, I'm going to Ice Wall, and then I get to it. And this is where my item path changes for the game, because we're going to lose this fight now by a lot. We just lost 2 people because I let myself have that happen to me. So, here's how I approach Doombringer, or how I like to approach Doombringer as Invoker. I really like Dagger against him, because in this case, where I'll Force Staff myself in and then lay down the Ice Wall, which is... I should have mentioned how good Ice Wall is. It's absurd. It's one of the best disables in the game. The slow is just... I don't... Let me take a look at the percentage.
Well, I was looking at it, and it doesn't quite make sense to me, because it goes over 100% slow, which just doesn't quite make sense.
Yeah. It's a lot of slow, to say the least. Oh, you're gonna get hurt. I'm trying to deal some damage right now. I should get a Deafening Blast up. I don't. I invoked a spell that I already had on cooldown, so... Again, what I should have done there was, immediately Deafening Blast and Meteor. When they're lined up in a perfect line like that, that would have been a double kill, and instead we only got 1.
Okay.
But anyway, back to the dagger issue. What I want to do is throw down... This sounds like theorycraft, but it does work, I promise. I want to throw down my Tornado MP, invoke, then I want to get my... Excuse me. Deafening Blast and Ice Wall up. So I Deafening Blast right when he comes out of it, dagger in, drop the Ice Wall, and Force Staff out. And all of a sudden, I'm safe. Because in that window in which Deafening Blast disables the Doombringer, I can get out.
Okay.
And at that point, I cast my stuff from afar. Like, my Alacrity and Cold Snap and stuff can all be cast from far away, and Spirits, I don't need to be there for them, so it works really well.
Okay. And you're actually going to pick off the Invoker here, it looks like, so...
Yeah.
I feel like you can probably push it a couple of towers bottom right now.
Yeah. I think that's what we should do. We might end up retreating, but...
Yeah, looks like Rick and Meyer TP'd back to the well, so...
Yeah, without a Ricky, I don't want to do this. So, we're going to just back up and go back to farming. So, I'm not sure if this is my first Django or my second Django. If it was, then I've been using my charges fairly poorly this game. Or a lot of times when I should have used them, which I didn't.
So you feel it's usually worth upgrading as soon as you run out of charges?
Depends on your farm. If you're farming poorly, no. Again, ags. But if you're farming really well, you can get another one. And the rationale is each charge is worth 200. If a charge will let you get a kill that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise, it's worth it. That's the way I like to think of guns.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And it looks like you do pick
It's like smoke. Yeah, I'm gonna get a dagger. Right here we're gonna see me doing something which looks like a mistake, but I was actually really happy with. We see me run in, get doomed, and run away immediately. I think Ty didn't get the memo on this, but what I was saying was I'm gonna bait out a doom, then get out immediately, so in the next team fight I don't even have to worry about it.
Okay.
And that's what looks like happened. And it looks like we're on the run now, so let's see if we get away. Tornado first, Ice Wall second. Fury TP's in. I'm gonna 4-staff away. Should definitely blast here. Meteor, that works too. Then the blast. I'm trying to block him with my body, but I kind of miss. At this point, a lot of my good spells are on cooldown. I get the courier, I get a kill.
Perfect.
I tried a tornado for a triple, or a double, but it doesn't happen. And then Weaver Sakuching away, but I think I get the Sunstrike on him.
Excellent. Well done. And it looks like Doom's the only one left. So yeah, that team fight really went well. They overextended. I don't think...
I did use a Django that fight, don't they? Yeah, they overextended by a lot. That was a fairly large mistake.
Mm-hmm. And as you said, the Doom, you baited out the Doom, so there was no chance of Doom even going on you in that fight and crippling you.
Yeah, that was the plan there. It just didn't get executed perfectly before because we had Tide going in a little too far. Forge Spirits up. I should use them to farm or like you use them to farm, you use them to scout. They're just really good in general.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of WV builds are built around the spirits themselves. You get the one from Q and the bunch in A, and then you just have them like push towers and kill people and stuff.
Right.
It's a pretty good build. I really prefer the QW.
I was looking at Alacrity also, and that you can cast that on a siege creep, I noticed. So.
Oh yeah.
Is that used?
The only time I remember when that was introduced, it was at a time when Invoker was even more out of control than he is now. Cold Snap was better, and it worked with Order Venom, so like he was absurd. But anyway, that he was buffed in this patch. Like some stuff was nerfed, but that was buffed. And there was all this theory crafting going on of, oh well, if you're trying to push your tier 3 racks, but you don't want to go into the high ground, you just cast it on the siege creep. And turns out it doesn't really work that well. But it was a cool idea from Ice Rock, I think.
Okay.
Oh, I 4-staff up, and we was gonna go down.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah,
Radiant's
and now you're free to
bottom
push
tower
again.
has fallen.
Or we'll see if you back up again.
I don't know. I don't remember this game that well. We're gonna back out. With Wind TPing out, we're gonna back out, I think.
And to be fair, there's no real reason for you to push, because you do have a late game. I feel like, anyway.
Yeah. I should hit a Sunstrike here. Hopefully. Oh, no, I get him with a Tornado. Tornado. EMP. I'm gonna get doomed, I think. Terrible Meteor. That was awful. And then I push him back and try to save the Tidehunter.
And
Dire's middle tower is under
Tidehunter is
attack.
gonna live, so that was a success.
yeah, you get 2 kills, so not a bad fight. And what's your move speed right now? You're sitting on 418 move speed with 3 Wex up.
And I'm not even phased right now.
Right.
I think with 4 Wex, phase boots and Django, you're 452 when you're phased.
472 right now when you're phased, so...
Yeah, that's the... three more ranks.
Near permanent haste.
Yeah, he's a silly hero. I'm gonna want to shoot for Sheep Stick right now, I think. I'm thinking I would have gone for the Silence if Weaver was a problem, but he's not, so I'm just gonna go for Sheep because I think Furion's gonna get kind of out of control. We look at his items, which we really haven't this game, and I wanted to talk about this, but I didn't. Where is he? There we go. He's going full right click. He has the MKB, Ag, Shadow Blade. He's probably gonna get like a crit stick out or like a, you know, typical right click theory build. One of the reasons why I felt so safe in Total in this game and farming is because he wasn't ganking. Had he been ganking me, I couldn't have done this because of NS and him. I wouldn't have felt safe at all, so I would have had to gank myself. But because he was going late game, and I know that Furion late game is easily controlled, I felt safe in farming.
Right, he is sitting on 480 gold per minute right now, but doesn't seem like he's done too much with it.
No, I don't think... This is a complete another topic, but I don't think this is the right way to play Furion. Anyway, that aside, we finish a Hex out from Windrunner, which is going to be important for disabling key silencers against me, mostly, so that I can have a little more freedom to move around in team fights.
Yep, looks like you're going on the Furion here, but he's got Lothar's, so... Shadow Blade, that is. He's just gonna walk out. So now, if you pick up a sheep, what exactly are you getting rid of here? What's your first priority item to drop?
I would get rid of nothing. I would get BOT in this situation. Right, I forget. When you go Dagger with the core item stuff, the Phase, Django, Ags, Force, or Yules or whatever, I actually prefer to go BOT first, so that you don't drop anything, because I don't really like dropping any of those items.
And with BOT, the move speed is going to be insane.
Yeah. It's to say the least. You're practically like Weaver, and with the Dagger Force Staff, you're wherever you want to be on the map at any point.
Okay, and you are sitting on 3,200 here, so we'll see what you pick up at some point.
It should be a BOT, definitely. What else happened I talked about this game? EMP, Ice Wall, Ghost Walk. I haven't had to Ghost Walk at all this game. I've used it like twice.
Right. Now, I usually see people just holding them in reserve to get away. Would you say that's the common usage?
You should never hold it in reserve unless you're really, really expecting a smoke gank with Dust. Like, for example, if you're laning mid, or very early, one of the times you might build differently is if you're against a coordinated team who wants to control Invoker. You get the W at level 3 so that you have Ghost Walk up, and you know that they're going to smoke gank you with a Dust, so you might, or without the Dust, because you want to check their inventories, but you want that in control then so you don't get chain CC'd in some situations. And if they're all missing and you're expecting them to go on you, you can have it. Also, when you're really late game like this with 17 Ags, it doesn't really matter if it's up if you're like expecting to get ganked, because you can just use it. But with the Dagger Force Staff, I'm not really worried about getting ganked at this point at all.
Right, that's understandable. Especially, you could just pop 3 Ws and have 500 move speed, so...
Yeah.
Alright, looks like they're going on Axe. He's gonna fall.
I'm about to make almost a game-changing mistake right there. I thought they didn't have vision up the high ground, and they did. So I was standing there, I was getting ready to line up my own. I Ice Walled the ramp so that when they run up it, they're slowed. I had Meteor EMP up, or I was going to have it up, and that would have just killed their entire team. Hang on, we're trying to escape. Let me talk about this. Tornado is going to slow them down. They should all get away, but NS is really fast.
You do hit full with that, but good check of their window too. Okay.
Yeah, he does not move fast, but someone's going to get Furion. I'm just trying to book it out. I kind of want to fight at this point, but I think that my right spells aren't up, so I'm kind of worried about that. Yep, I'm going to make another mistake. I should Meteor immediately. I don't. I should Sunstrike right then. I don't. Sunstrike is a split second too late.
And we haven't talked about Sunstrike yet, but...
It's a global nuke with a 2 or 1.7 second delay, I believe. I might be wrong.
Yeah, and one thing that was interesting to me was the damage is split between all the targets you hit. So
Absolutely. So it's used for really taking down fleeing heroes as opposed to like farming or whatever. A lot of times you can use it to scout, like if you're sort of like a clock missile, but it's really not good, and it's only good late game once you have the cooldown for it.
okay.
You can like spell strike where you think they're going to run by, and maybe you'll get lucky and find them, but it's hard to do. You'll notice I'm maxing out E and W at this point. Actually, I'm all equal, but the E and W I was getting up high because that's where my damage is going to come from, and they have more damage dealers than us, so I kind of need to take up that role. Mercury's going to go a little bit too deep right there, but he is going to get the tower, which is nice. But anyway, like I said, that team fight before with the ice wall, them running up a ramp in single file is going to be the best way for us to kill them. The Tornado EMP, or the Blast Meteor, will just kill all of them, and I thought they didn't have vision, and they did, so that's why that fight went so badly.
Right, so looks like they just had dropped a Sentry Ward prior to the fight. So, just bad luck, really.
Sneaky, aren't I?
Alright, so you're sitting on 4,700s here, so you might even have enough to die, buy back, buy BOT, and be right back in fight.
That's actually what the plan was at this point. Ice wall up, I'm probably going to get doomed. Yup. I should have daggered in, then ice wall. I did it backwards, and that was my mistake. So dagger force staff, but that's my theory crap not working in real life. Most of the time it does, but I made a mistake there.
Okay. And yeah, they do have quite a bit of right-click damage. You saw how fast Axe melted right there.
This is like the first time I've used Ghost Walk all game. I think I get an Sunstrike kill right here. Or I get some kill. Yeah, I get the Weaver, it was the Weaver, but that's it. And I shouldn't have got doomed, so.
Stands briefly.
Okay, so one thing we haven't talked about is the how does Meteor actually work? No.
Well, it has points in the W and E. It's 1 W, 2 E's. So the W's tell you how far it's... Let me just make sure I'm not completely messing this up. I want to look at the tooltip. The W's are going to tell you how far it rolls. So the travel distance is based off of W. And the damage is based completely off of its sword. Yeah, okay. And it also has a dot, I believe.
Okay, so
it's going to hurt a lot.
Basically anyone it hits or rolls through is going to take damage from that.
Yeah, it looks like
Middle tower is under attack.
for each it takes every half a second. The burn time is 3, so I think that's... I've never done the math on this, I just know it's a huge amount. So that would be 6 times like 145. If they're in it for the full duration, it's close to like 800 to 1,000 damage, I think. My math might be completely wrong for that, I just know it's a lot.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then plus the DO2 as well, so...
Definitely. And yep, it looks like I'm going to get travels at this point. Nothing too exciting going on here. We're seeing most of the late game Invoker utility. I explained why item decisions were made. I could have gone for bigger stuff, but I didn't, and I explained what the spells do and the order in which to invoke them and have them up, I think. So, is there anything else you think I should cover?
Yeah, I feel like we've gone over all the spells, but really teamfights is the big part where I feel players have issues with Invoker because it's so complicated to get through, and like you obviously know them quite well, but for me, I've only played Invoker a couple of times, so just cycling through the spells very quickly like you do is a big challenge.
Yeah, I would recommend for anyone learning Invoker, they get a practice game, get your late game-ish items, like just get a bunch like Ags, Force Staff, Gwinsu, Phase Boots, and just run around the map killing stuff for an hour, like just so that your spells feel like second nature. Because once you mess up a spell in your chain of invoking them, you have to wait another 2 seconds for a spell, and then the time has passed in which it will be really good. Like the meteor position has shifted, and you can't get it anymore. It's stuff like that. So it's really important to know the hotkeys like the back of your hand and be able to fire off the spells when they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're getting to the point in the game where it's only going to be 1 or 2 more team fights. It looks like there's another 4 to 5 minutes. So
yeah, again, we've seen you make 2 mistakes in a row with the getting doomed. There is a reason why Doombringer is considered a good counter to him, and if I was playing better this game, it wouldn't be an issue, but my mobility is a little lacking in what it should be, so...
Okay. So despite that, you're still sitting on 7, 1, and 14. So, 235 CS, level 23. And
CS should, like, with farming this much, it should be around 300 at this point, and that's too much farm for an Invoker. So, it's me missing CS. This is going to be a bad fight, I think. If I remember correctly.
they are all right here, but they don't really have the initiator, the big jump in initiator that you guys do, so we'll see how this goes. There goes
So we get Ian.
Sean has fallen to the
So I'm just ready to go on them, but I get cheaped and killed by Prophet immediately. I buy back and I should BOT in, but there's no place to BOT too, so...
under attack.
Oh wow. I got killed in like 3 hits.
Right.
How much damage is Prophet dealing for right click? I can't find him on the map.
Prophet is
There we go.
about 300.
He's doing like almost 400 a
Radiant's
hit.
top tower is under attack.
He's got a lot of stuff going on right now.
But while they did pick off you, you also did pick off the Weaver Doombringer. Axe had a really good call there, so... And you did get away from him.
Yeah, if you notice, when they were all lined up like that, that's when Invoker shines. You saw the deafening blast deal damage, and I was getting ready to Meteor and Ice Wall. Oh, something that's really important about Ice Wall is that you want to angle your body. People don't think of it as like a skill that's hard to use, but if you angle your body just right, like in that one, I would have angled it so that the it's running parallel to the sides of that ramp, so that they cannot get it. Like there's no place they can run to get out of that. And Ice Wall lasts forever. That's an automatic one team fight if I can get that down, but I didn't. So, the positioning Ice Wall is really important. I definitely blast to save Tidon here, but it's not going to be enough. I should QQQ him, or whatever it is, the stun. Cold Snap, yes. I actually don't think of the skills by their names. I think of them as the finger position, because I've had to hit it so many times, you know?
Okay, that's interesting. Now, what hotkeys do you use for casting your 2 spells?
Actually, so in Dota 1, they had a list of set keys where there was a key that corresponded to every spell. So like W was Cold Snap, X was Tornado, C was EMP, etc.
Oh, okay.
But in Dota 2, what they have is D is the first key, the one that you just invoked, and F is the second one. So I've been using them. I'm going to switch back to the Dota 1 hotkey simply because it's confusing to have Tornado. Like if you have Tornado EMP up early game, you might have to have Tornado second just by how the nature of Invoke works. So normally I want my initiate, I want to go DF for like Tornado EMP, but I might have it backwards and it might be FD, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, what just happened? So I hope that Valve implements that soon.
So legacy keys. Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, you're about to hit level 25 here. You didn't get that top Rex. I think you definitely had a chance to, but looked like the fight took priority there.
Yeah, I think we're going to just fight and kill them. Like, I can't imagine us losing a fight at this point. Assuming that I don't get doomed.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Tornado range is just absurd.
Yeah.
And it looks like X. Little
Oh,
hesitant
nice chap
on
there.
There it goes.
Meteor is just gonna... Yeah, if you look at him, that killed half of his health. Type is just gonna let us go to work. He's gonna go down with Cold Snap. I threw an Ice Wall down. 4 staff up.
Right, and
I did buy another Django Charger this one. I can pick him off with the dagger, I should.
looks like you don't go for it.
Oh no, I wanted to go for the Weaver, but we couldn't get him.
Makes sense.
Radiant's
And now you're
structures are
TPing right to
fortified.
top lane, I assume, to push?
Yep. We want to do top because the tower's down, right? So.
And Doom was actually on
Radiant's
cooldown
bottom
that
tower
team fight.
is
That's
under
why it went so
attack.
well for you guys.
The prevailing
Or one
wind.
reason.
Okay. I might hit a Sunstrike here. Nope, he's just gonna die to Axe. Okay.
And deny the tower.
There we go.
Alright.
Radiant's bottom tower has been
So yeah,
denied.
you're sitting on 4,200 here. Are you looking to pick up the Yules all in one piece and saving?
I'm saving for buyback. Is
Save
the
for
most
buyback
important
until
item
you
at this
can.
point.
That makes sense.
I mean, for a team fight, a Gwynstu, which is 6k, is what, like 3-4 seconds to disable?
3.5 seconds, yeah.
Whereas if you die immediately, get doomed. What I would actually do if I got doomed at this point in the team fight is just stand in the middle of a fight, try to die as fast as I could, so I can, as long as I could buy back and TPN, and then just buy back and TPN, and then win the fight.
Yeah. Seems fair enough. Looks like they're posturing to defend this Rex. Furion is dead for another 50 seconds.
Yeah, they can't defend this. It's impossible.
He does have buyback.
Okay, so he'll buy back then. I still think that it shouldn't. Again, I'm thinking of how it should go if Invoker is playing well, like really well.
Okay.
But it's decent play right now. So, anyway. You're going to have one more fight. Rax is going to go down immediately, and then here's where the spells come out. Meteor is going to go in the middle of everything. It's going to deal a ton of damage, and then you see them deafening blast into the tornado to make them stand there for longer. Ice Wall to make them not be able to move up. Cold Snap on King to make them go slower. I Alacrity myself, or I Alacrity Windrunner so she can auto attack better. Force Staff up to him. Tornado so that the rest of the team can catch up, and I think that's my entire arsenal. And then I his whatever.
Yeah, really thinly executed team fight. You saw the Doom on ass.
That was, yeah. I think that was a better team fight. And then Spirits are out for the end game.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks
I think that was really well played. Who else would you recommend checking replays at if I wanted to take a look at some high-level Invoker
Dire's
play?
middle tower. Radiant's bottom
So
barracks.
most of the absurdly good invokers are all Chinese, and they're not playing Dota 2. So if you really want to go into Dota 1, I won't really tell you how to do it because it's kind of complicated, but learn how to watch Dota 1 games and then watch this guy, Ferrari430, who is stupid good at Invoker. You can also watch some replays of Yathitz. It's also known as Perfectly Shit, or PIS. He's the guy who Shadowfin got named after because he was so good at him. He doesn't play anymore, but there are still some pub replays that he does of Invoker that are just stupid good.
Okay. Up for Dendi?
Radiant's middle barracks has
Any
fallen.
comments on Dendi's play?
Dire's middle tower
I catch a lot of flack with this. I think Dendi is a very good player. He doesn't happen to be an amazing Invoker. I would watch Link if you want to watch an Invoker player, because I think Link is really good.
And yeah, I think he's a member of SK or...
Yeah, SK Link or Link. I never remember if it's the Link's one, but he's really good too. I think Pycat, I think he's playing for EG right now, or Pajkat is what it looks like. P-A-J-K-A-T-T was one of the first really good European Invokers who kind of showed everybody how to play him, so...
Okay.
He's another one to check out. I don't have any replays of pro invokers though, so that's why we're watching me so I can like criticize my own mistakes and not seem pretentious because I don't have replays of the pros that aren't Dota 1. So
Right, and a lot of players not very familiar with Dota 1 if they're stepping into the scene new. So
yeah.
Alright. So
Let me talk about real quick how you beat Invoker. Just while we're waiting for the game to end.
please.
You can beat him. Go on.
No, please, go.
Okay. You can beat him with early pushing, huge pressure in lane, and Doom with Blink Dagger is really good against him. You rarely see them do it, but Doom should get a Blink against an Invoker who knows how to beat the Doom. Silencer is not so good against him because Last Word isn't big enough, like a big enough AoE. Pugna is fairly good against him because of the ward.
Yes.
If you hide it well, yeah. But what you do in that situation is you get the Forge Spirits up and you just have them go on the ward. Problem solved.
Okay, would you ever consider a BKB on Invoker? Say they had something like a Bloodseeker or...
Yes, absolutely.
And
I would. BKB is basically you either go for positioning and hope you're good enough to get away with it, which in this game I wasn't, or you can go for the BKB, which is just problem solved.
right, but
BKB is pretty good on Invoker. I would never really rush it unless you were doing a really weird auto-attacky WE build, in which you went like Dominator BKB or something, but...
okay. Yeah, and obviously it doesn't make sense in this game against Doombringer, because Doom goes through BKB.
Yeah.
Dire's
And
middle
just correct me if
tower
I'm wrong,
is under
Invoker
attack.
isn't... Oh, Ice Wall on 2 heroes, I think. And this is just going to end the game. When Ice Wall hits that many people, it just doesn't work. I get tuned, but I don't care at this point.
Just run and right click people. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. He is a fairly good right click. But this hero was not in Han, right?
No, he was not.
Dire's
Absolutely
middle
not.
tower is under attack.
So he's very new.
Dire's middle
So again, watch the replays of pro players playing him.
Dire's ancient
Yeah,
is
see that Meteor Deafening Blast?
Yes, that did
That
thousands
pretty
of
much
damage.
100 to 0 him.
Alright, and
So, and again, happy Invoker.
Radiant victory.
alright. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Decency. I'm here with Shred Kid.
This is Strike.
And
And thanks, this is